Assalamualaikum and hello everybody, welcome back to the most awesome channel in the world. Awesome! Woohoo! Assalamualaikum and hey everybody, welcome back to Awesome by Muazzam NZ. My name is Muazzam and this is Awesome by Muazzam NZ, where we'll be talking about the world, the current issues and everything in between. So today we are going to do another awesome reaction and today we'll be reacting to why is Indonesia moving its capital? I've heard about what happened in Indonesia, especially in Jakarta, all those overcrowding places, traffic jam, and also pretty much it doesn't have that qualities or criteria to be the capital anymore. I mean, it could be somewhere in an economic standpoint, it will be good, but in political or maybe in administration values, it's slowly downgraded, every year, and also not to mention the ecological thing and also all those, administration problem, and not to mention Indonesia itself is prone or maybe exposed to a lot of nature disasters. So I'm curious to how Indonesia is planning, or maybe Indonesia is trying to move its capital. Yeah, and this video is taken from the TRT World YouTube channel, and we'll see how it goes from there. I think I have enough talking. Let's react together, shall we? Alright, let's go. Before we begin, I just want to say the link to the original video is in the description, and also be sure to subscribe as I post new videos every week so you don't want to miss any of my videos. If you subscribe, if you don't, I'll wait. Right, you done? Subscribe? Alright, good. Let's go to the video. Alright everybody, headphones on. Let's focus on our screen and let the reaction begin. And clicking play in 3, 2, 1.
Why is Indonesia moving its capital? As the Java Sea looms, Jakarta is sitting on shaky ground. Rising sea levels and floods have made it the fastest sinking metropolis in the world. And researchers...
Flood? Fastest sinking metropolis in the world? What? I mean, it does make sense though. Since Jakarta is literally beside Jakarta Bay, which is actually leading to the ocean, so it kind of makes sense why it's flooding. But I never thought. Well, I would expect it is to be flooding, but I never thought it's to be sinking, like really sinking, like critically sinking. You know what I mean?
predict 1/3 of the city could be entirely submerged by 2050.
1/3 by 2050. 2050, I know it seems far now, but if we think about it again, 2050 doesn't seem so far. I mean, we're already in the 2022. It's like plus minus 3 decades left. And by that, 1/3 of Jakarta will sink. Yikes. Ooh. Oh my.
This is Waladuna Mosque in Jakarta. Its roof is in ruins. Moss covers the walls, and seawater flows through every corner.
Oh my god. That moss is just sinks. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's some serious problem.
The last time people prayed here was in 2001, back when it was above ground. Today, it's a warning sign.
Around 10 million people living in the capital have been battling the plunging problem for years now.
10 million, that's a lot. That's a lot. 10 million, okay, if I were to compare the population of Jakarta to Malaysian, I would say, let's see. I would say it's combining Selangor, KL, and Negeri Sembilan, and that itself, I don't think still enough to compare the population of Jakarta. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, if we were to compare all of this, if we were to combine KL, Selangor, and Negeri Sembilan, I think it would be just merely over, I don't know, maybe sometime 8 million, 9 million. It's not almost 10 million. 10 million is a third of Malaysian population. Yeah. Or a little bit under a third of Malaysian population. Yikes. And that itself is contained in Jakarta. Ooh.
But Jakarta's 13 rivers and swampy plains are pooling the ground from beneath the city quicker than expected. 2/5 of Jakarta lies below sea level, and parts of it are dropping at a rate of 20 centimeters a year. But the main
20 centimeters a year. What? Oh my god. I'm not. My mind immediately tried to scramble to find a ruler. 20 centimeters a year. What? What? 20 centimeters. Okay, this is 15. And this is 20. Mind you, the ground is sinking at that rate every year in Jakarta. What? By this rate, if I were to compare it in KL would be sinking in what? In 2040, not even 2040, maybe in 15 years time. Whoa. Ooh, that is some serious problem right there. Yikes.
main cause is not so much the climate crisis as it is the city's water consumption and infrastructure.
Okay. Oh, right. Makes sense. But don't we, then again, yeah. Maybe it's because of, we could say it is somehow because of the mismanagement in water consumption. You know, yeah, something like that. You know, the government should be providing, I'm lost for words. The government should be providing the right amount of water to be drinking, to be used in daily issues to the citizens. Maybe that's not the case for Jakarta. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's one of the reason why it's, you know, people are actually pumping water out. So eventually the land sinks, which causing to be somehow on the same level of the sea. Maybe. And with buildings and houses and everything, you know, putting all those pressures, and not to mention building buildings like complexes and everything. We need to have a solid base, concrete, or maybe somewhat of, I don't know what we call that, to be put into the ground, and that is possibly one of the reasons why it's sinking as well. You know, it causes so much pressure to the land, and moreover with the water problem that we saw just now. Maybe. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a problem. When that thing happened and then flood came in, and not to mention Indonesia is pretty much the same as Malaysia. We're kind of in the midst of the tropical style country where rainy season is pretty much imminent in maybe 6 months, 5 months, and possibly at the end of the year until the beginning of the next year, and what is causing the flood. And with that thing, with this thing happening, the water cannot flow back into the ocean, or maybe at least into the river. That's a problem. Yeah.
Current President Joko Widodo has been burdened with solving this problem since the start of his tenure in 2014. And so far, the government has come up with two solutions. It first introduced a $42 billion project to build seawalls around the coastal areas stretching up to 30 kilometers. And the second solution,
Building a seawall costing 42 billion. It sounds promising though. I mean, you could, building a seawall could help it, and also maybe you could, and also at the same time maybe you could make use of the water that have been, that have been put behind the walls, But then again, we could not expect what happened to the Mother Nature. Maybe the sea could get worse, and moreover, with Indonesia is pretty much at the verge of the ring of fire. Natural disasters is prone to happen. Maybe it could happen. Maybe volcanoes could erupt and eventually destroying the seawall. You need to build it again, and also even if that happened, earthquake is prone to happen, and all sort of stuff. Yeah. Maybe that's not entirely a good idea. So maybe that's why they are moving the capital. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
is to go ahead and reconstruct an entire new capital in the less populated region of East Kalimantan.
East Kalimantan. Ooh, that's kind of that's kind of beautiful actually. Negara Rimba. The winning plan is called Negara Rimba Nusa, Forest and Island Hilltop. Negara Rimba Nusa. Oh, okay. Alright, right.
Now, it's not unusual for a capital to be relocated. This has happened many times in the last 100 years. Brasilia and Islamabad in 1960, Abuja in 1991, Astana in 1998, and Myanmar's Naypyidaw in 2005 to name a few. But this process...
Naypyidaw, huh? I mean, I've heard of Astana. They moved from... Is it Nur Sultan? I think it's Nur Sultan, right? They moved from They moved from Nur Sultan to Astana. Islamabad, as in... isn't it India? I'm not. Oh my god. No. Oh my god, I forgot. Where is Islamabad? Isn't it Afghanistan? Is it Islamabad in Afghanistan or Islamabad in India? Oh my god, I forgot. Never mind. I've heard of Abuja and I've heard of Brasilia, where Brasilia is the most commonly mistaken when it comes to Brazil. They really thought Rio de Janeiro is the capital, but it's not actually. It's actually Brasilia. With the same situation happened to Jakarta right now. If they were to move their capital to another places, in this case they are moving to Borneo, which basically the same reason. The coastal shore really not helping with the economy and also with the administration, so they moved to a lot more central places and a lot more place that is actually far from sea or from sea, but still having a good resources of everything else. Same case with here. And Naypyidaw, Myanmar. Is Naypyidaw the country that is actually moving the capital, but actually less successful? Because eventually what happens is the only places there is actually all the government office, which they intend to have a few attraction going there, a few tourist attraction, a few visits from locals and international tourists, but eventually it fails. If it's that the one, is it Myanmar or is it Vietnam? I kind of forgot. Anyway, let's continue.
This does pose challenges.
Naypyidaw seemingly has everything to attract visitors. A 20-lane highway,
Yes.
over 100
Yes, this is the one. So Naypyidaw it is. Naypyidaw is kind of really a very well planned, but I think it's because the people, the locals' acceptance is nothing more than just an administration capital. So hence they thought, I would just go. I would just go there for the sake of doing some governmental errands and nothing else. But eventually, but actually, it's more than just that. But yeah, kind of flopped.
luxury hotels divided into 3 hotel districts,
Ooh.
golf courses, museums, and even a 99-meter tall replica of a landmark originally situated in Yangon. But there's one essential component that remains missing: the population.
Oh, all right.
The new capital is home to less than 1 million residents, most of which
Less than 1 million. Ugh.
reside in the suburbs that were present even before the city became the capital. But why does no one want to live there? A lingering gap in health facilities, lack of quality educational institutes, and economic opportunities mean that
So they are building everything. Government office, government offices is located right there, and also the tourist attractions right there. But no hospitals, no universities, no no economic places. Hence, nobody wants to go there. Yeah, because you need, if you want to go there, if you want to stay at one places, you need to have a purpose. Either you want to go to visit, either you want to go to get some education, hence university, either you want to get some healthcare, hospitals, or either if you want to go to just work, economic places. And these 3 doesn't have in Naypyidaw. Makes sense. So what's left there is just government officials, right?
that most of the population is reluctant to make the city a permanent home.
The Java island hosts nearly 60% of the total population and makes up
60%. So what happened to the rest of the country? I mean, Indonesia is stretching from Sumatra all the way to next door in Papua, all the way to Papua. And you're telling me that the Java island, the island of Java, who's 60%. So what? Sumatra is like 10, 15. Papua is like 10. And even the Borneo is like what, 5%? Whoops. That's not good. And makes sense of why the need to move the capital.
up most of Indonesia's economy. Environmental groups have also raised concern about the potential damage to Kalimantan's rainforests. Borneo, home to endangered species such as the orangutan, has lost 30% of its forests in a little over 4 decades, much of it to the paper and pulp industry and palm oil plantations. But some experts argue previous cities also had similar problems and reparations are possible.
What happened in Jakarta already happened in so many cities in the world. Tokyo sank about 4.5 meters from 1900 till 1970.
I mean, if you were talking about Tokyo, but it's still 4.5 meters from 1900 to 1970, it's still not much. If we were to compare to Jakarta, that is sinking almost 25 centimeter every year. That's a lot. Jakarta is a lot more critical if we were to compare to Tokyo. And moreover, Tokyo is kind of is located on an island, like a lot smaller than Indonesia. The comparison doesn't adds up well to me, at least to me.
So they stopped drilling?
They stopped drilling. Tokyo is a very good example, but it was also in Shanghai, Taipei, Yokohama.
I thought Shanghai. Oh no, that's Beijing. Shanghai is a lot more at the coast area. Never mind.
Bangkok, all these cities were sinking, and realized the only way to stop this and manage the city again is bring the piped water.
Indonesia is moving its capital to unburden the island of Java. The relocation neither assures success nor the survival of the sinking city. But right now, President Widodo and his government are up against time to move millions of people out of harm's way.
Is it? All right. Okay. Well, that's eye-opening. Okay, so that is a few reasons of why Indonesia is moving its capital. I think it makes sense. I think, you know, one factor is Jakarta is sinking, which I expected is actually to be sinking, but not 25 centimeter a year, almost 20 to 25 centimeter a year. Like, that is a lot, and also not to mention the reason being it's sinking is because I think it's because of the mismanagement of water providing by the government, which eventually leads to the people actually trying to find the water sources itself by drilling the water. Yeah, there's a mismanagement of water mistreatment and everything. And also I heard that all of Jakarta rivers actually have polluted, which makes another problem and in an ecological standpoint. And also one thing that the video doesn't mention is the traffic. People say that in order to get from from a little bit over 30 kilometers, you need to drive for almost 2 hours on a non-traffic day. On a traffic day, it could lead up to 3 to 3.5 hours. Like what? And also, some of them saying that government officials need to be escorted just to be on time for meetings. Like, yikes, that's a problem. Yeah, and also that is because of overcrowding of Jakarta itself. I mean, 10 million people right now inside it's just inside the Jakarta, like Jakarta proper, or maybe Jakarta Metro. Not to mention all the surrounding cities or areas. That is a red flag to pretty much everything that we are seeing. That and also that adds up to the reason of why Indonesia have to move the capital to another island. And surprisingly, shockingly, Java, the island of Java itself, is home to 60% of the whole Indonesia. Like what? That's I don't want to say small, but that small island is home to 60% of people. Like, how about Sumatra? How about Sulawesi? How about Papua? How about Borneo? Like what? They are sparsely located. Like here you go, 15% for you, 10% there, 5% there. Are we for real? That's a. I see the reason why they need to move the capital. The need to move the capital, and also I've read a few articles that say, although 2024 is the deadline to start moving offices to a new capital, the fully transition is expected to complete in 2045, which is a lot more years to see. But that seems a lot. But I think it's just enough for Indonesia to relocate everything to a new capital, and at the same time lowering the risk of having to manage Jakarta again. And moreover, with Jakarta is prone to sinking like 20 centimeter a year, and not to mention the overcrowding, flood problems, and other natural disasters, volcanoes, earthquakes. Whereby Borneo, if you don't know about Borneo is kind of like really sits comfortably from the natural disasters, you know. And also Borneo, it don't have any volcanoes, but the only problem is just slight earthquakes here and there, maybe slight flooding. But if the new capital is being managed quite successfully in terms of water management, electricity management, you know, all the utility management, sewage treatment, and the sewage treatment, the most important thing to prevent from flooding, because you know that place is actually, I wouldn't say it's too far from the sea. If I were to just calculate from here, from what I saw in the video, I wouldn't say it's just too far from sea, but it's far enough to not fear of having flooding because of sea, but maybe flooding because of, you know, the tropical season, the monsoon season, the flood season, or maybe the heavy rainfall season, which can be a burden sometimes, but not to be too much of a burden if it were to compare to high rise of sea level, to sinking and everything in between, which the same happening here in Malaysia itself as well. Because you know, as we know, and I think as I mentioned in the previous video, we experienced quite a serious flood for the last year, at the end of the last year, which is actually the worst that we have in like over in, I don't know, 10 years time, which it's actually fairly well, but it's still a problem. It's still a huge problem, but it's actually but hey, at least it's not earthquake, at least it's not volcano eruption and everything in between that actually caused more destruction compared to flood. But still, I would like to say it's fairly worrying to see flood, and also one of the reasons why is because of the mismanagement of sewage treatment, and also at the same time it's heavy rainfall, which, to be honest, it could be prevented if the sewage management is treated better, and also early warning could be given, and both of these factors somewhat rather fail during that time. And I hope Indonesia is learning from this as well, because heavy rainfall in Borneo is not uncommon. It's going to prone flooding, no matter how good your sewage treatment or sewage management are. But at least we get an early warning, or at least we get a better sewage treatment, so the catastrophic flood doesn't pose too much of an impact in all sorts of standpoints: economical, social, and political. So yeah, now I see why Indonesia is trying to move the capital, because I knew before there are plans to move, but I did not expect that one of the reasons why is because Jakarta is just prone to heavy flooding, to the sinking sea level, and not to mention the overpopulation. And now I see the reason why. So I just wish to the Indonesian government all the best of luck, and I hope you guys succeed in moving your nation's capital to Borneo. Yeah. So that is my reaction on why is Indonesia moving its capital. What do you think? Is Indonesia doing the right move, or is it otherwise? Or maybe there are some room for improvement, maybe some adjustment here and there. Either way, let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you so much again for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch more videos, you can click it down here. Don't forget to follow me on my social media as well, on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And the most important thing, be sure to subscribe to my channel. You can click it right there. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell, as you don't want to miss any of my videos, because I upload pretty much new videos every week, and subscribe is pretty much free. And I guess that's it. Thank you so much again for watching, and until then, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Assalamualaikum and bye bye.